Hi. It's my honor to introduce our next speaker. Our next speaker is Shankar Lakhavani. He is an engineer and process improvement professional in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Sorry about that. These mics up. Check it out now.
Is that better? Can you hear me? Okay. He has worked as a senior consultant for LS6 Quality Solutions in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where he also got his master's at the University of Pittsburgh, and now he teaches courses in probability and statistics. He is a senior member of the American Society for Quality and Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. Please help me in welcoming Shankar Lakhavani.
Good evening. Can you hear me in the back?
No.
No? Well, you just have to try harder. I have, in some of the classes I teach, there are over 80 to 100 students, and they can hear me where you are sitting. So you'll have to work with that. I'm not going to use the microphone.
Are you allergic?
Yes, a little bit. I'm always pleased to see Congressman Sherman come to our meetings. It's always very, very heartening to see a long-serving congressman support the Sindhi cause. So I really, really appreciate that, Congressman. I also appreciate the many speakers who spoke and the many friends who are here tonight. I'll take we could speak about some of the pain that the Sindhis have gone through, are going through, the issue of bonded labor, of the Hindus in Sindh, of the Muslims in Sindh, the feudalism in Sindh, the lack of political participation, the lack of human rights, and so on. But I'll not dwell on that. I'll dwell on something different. We Sindhis have come a long way. I've been in North America for 40 years, and I have participated and helped several other Sindhi organizations grow and find and begin to participate in the American community, in the American way of life. I'm very, very glad to see that SAPAC is giving a political voice to the Sindhis in America. It is our right as well as a responsibility to participate in the political process, and that shows the maturity of a community when they begin to participate in the political process here in America. So I'm really grateful to Munawar, who has toiled for years and years to finally find his place in the political process. I'm very grateful to him that he has helped initiate this organization, and I'm also grateful to people like Dr. Halepoto and some of the others who have consistently supported SAPAC. Many of the other Sindhi organizations basically help the Sindhis participate in some of the family activities, some of the cultural activities. This is different. And what I'm hoping is that this organization, which is the only Sindhi organization that gives Sindhis the political voice, will continue for another 40 years. And hopefully, not only us, the first generation of Sindhis who's here, who's starting to participate in the political process, but our children will also participate in the political process. And my hope is that your children, my children, our children will come and work as interns. I'm always so excited to see the interns help this organization grow we talked about Hannah Bush, and I met Hannah in London at one of the conferences that were organized. And believe me, it seemed like she knew how to organize not only the conference, but more importantly, Shankar Lakhavani. Shankar is very emotional, very creative, and he has all this creative force that needs to be channeled. And Hannah was able to do that. Do you remember that, Hannah?
I switched all the clocks 10 minutes back. So
That's the trick I used to do with my daughter. So we need a solid political foundation for our children to participate. And I think SAPAC is the vehicle that will help us do that. But we have to ensure the SAPAC becomes a permanent organization. A couple of years ago, we talked, and I was lamenting the fact that SAPAC does not have an office. And Munawar, and along with other friends, within a matter of a couple of months, had an office, were operating out of an office. I was really afraid for Munawar. I was afraid that he might go the Bill Clinton way if he continues to have interns operate out of his home. So I was very glad to see that he created the office. But here's the thing. If we want this organization to have a permanent home in Washington, D.C., it needs a permanent office. And a couple of weeks ago, I was chatting with one of my friends, who shall remain anonymous today. And I was lamenting, how come SAPAC doesn't have a permanent office? How come some of these other organizations who participate in the political process have permanent offices? From the labor unions to some of the other ethnic organizations and so on. And this friend of mine presented me with a National Public Radio type of challenge. You know how the National Public Radio gives you a challenge? Okay? And this is what he said. He said, I am willing to support the creation of a permanent home for SAPAC, provided for every dollar that I give, somebody else gives $2. And he said, I'm willing to do that to the tune of $100,000. I thought that was a great challenge. I was not willing to take him up on that because, you know, I'm not from Silicon Valley. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh was Silicon Valley about 150 years ago when we used to manufacture steel and we were coal country and so on. At that time, that was the engine of growth, but not today. So I did not accept this challenge, but I'm going to throw it out here among this august audience and see who is willing to take up this challenge. But the challenge is here. So, and I think we ought to support it just like we support the National Public Radio, just like we support United Bay, etc., etc. You know that recently we had the terrible bombing in Boston. Americans rose up and contributed within a matter of several weeks $45 to $50 million. And so I think it can be done. I still remember, I was a member of another Sindhi organization, and every year I would take my family to the annual conference. My family, from the 3 days we would spend there, have a lot of kacheris, you know what I mean? Okay? Listen to a lot of music and so on. You know, we had dropped like $1,500. But even then, and there were a lot of pleas for collecting funds and so on, and for good causes, buying ambulances, Backins and so on. But even those organizations never were able to create a permanent home, a permanent office. So I really think it's something we all should consider. And if you're interested, send an email to SAPAC. And if there's sufficient interest, I'm sure that with the help of our interns, interns, we will be able to create an organization that will help you channel your hard-earned cash into a permanent office for SAPAC. That's all I have.